Something is happening in Britain that has stunned the public and even shocked the Prime Minister himself. A legendary comedy writer, the man behind Father Ted, has just been hauled off a plane by armed police officers, all because of his social media posts. And now, in a twist nobody expected, Keir Starmer has turned on the police. Let's break this down, but first, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more. In a story that has shaken Britain, Prime Minister Keir Starmer has publicly rebuked the Metropolitan Police after the dramatic arrest of legendary comedy writer Graeme Linehan. Linehan, the Irish writer behind Father Ted, was arrested at Heathrow Airport by 5 armed officers as he stepped off a flight from the United States. He says he was treated like a terrorist, bundled into a cell, and hit with bail conditions that include a gagging order banning him from posting on X until October. Now, Downing Street has spoken. On Tuesday, the Prime Minister's official spokesman said, "This is an operational matter for the police, but the Prime Minister and the Home Secretary have been clear about what their priorities on crime and policing are. That's tackling antisocial behaviour, shoplifting and street crime, as well as reducing serious violent crime such as knife crime and violence against women." The Met Police Commissioner himself has talked previously about recruits joining the police to protect the public, and that he wants the police to exist to protect the public, spending their time dealing with the issues that matter most to their communities. It was a clear signal from Keir Starmer's office that the government wants officers focused on real tangible crime, not social media disputes. But the arrest has triggered outrage far beyond Britain. Elon Musk, the world's richest man, blasted the UK as a police state. Downing Street pushed back on that description, insisting the Prime Minister did not agree with Musk's comment. Still, his spokesman stressed, "The Prime Minister has spoken previously about how he is strongly in favour of free speech and the long proud history of free speech in this country, and he will continue to do so." Meanwhile, Linehan himself is furious. On his blog, he wrote, "In a country where paedophiles escape sentencing, where knife crime is out of control, where women are assaulted and harassed every time they gather to speak, the state had mobilized 5 armed officers to arrest a comedy writer for this tweet." He also confirmed that he was slapped with a gag order, preventing him from posting online until his next interview with police in October. Scotland Yard defended the arrest, saying, "On Monday, September 1st at 1 p.m, officers arrested a man at Heathrow Airport after he arrived on an inbound American Airlines flight. The man in his 50s was arrested on suspicion of inciting violence. This is in relation to posts on X. After being taken to police custody, officers became concerned for his health and he was taken to hospital. His condition is neither life-threatening nor life-changing. He has now been bailed pending further investigation." The arrest was made under Part 3A of the Public Order Act, which prohibits words or written material designed to stir up hatred on religious or sexual grounds. But the fallout is political as much as legal. Reform UK leader Nigel Farage says he will raise the case in Washington this week during meetings with top Republicans. In written evidence to Congress, he describes Britain as sliding into an illiberal and authoritarian censorship regime, and warns America to stay vigilant. That view is finding resonance in Washington. Last month, US Vice President J.D. Vance told Foreign Secretary David Lammy that Western governments had become too comfortable with censoring, rather than debating conflicting opinions. He also warned that Britain faces a dark path if it continues in its current direction. So, what began as the arrest of one comedy writer is rapidly becoming a defining battle over free speech, policing priorities, and Britain's international reputation. With further interviews scheduled in October, this is a storm that shows no signs of settling anytime soon. In other news, savers are being warned to brace for unexpected tax bills as HMRC begins sending letters to those with more than £3,500 in their accounts. The warning comes as rising interest rates have pushed more savers over the Personal Savings Allowance (PSA), the tax-free threshold on savings interest. The letters are aimed at people whose interest has pushed them them over their PSA, leaving many unaware that they now owe tax. Fixed-term savings accounts are proving a particular problem. Unlike easy access accounts, which pay interest monthly or annually, fixed-rate bonds roll up the interest and pay it all at once when the account matures. That lump sum can tip even modest savers over the allowance. For example, someone putting £3,500 into a 3-year bond, paying 5%, would receive more than £500 at maturity, breaching the allowance for higher rate taxpayers. The size of one's allowance depends on their income. Basic rate taxpayers earning under £50,270 can earn up to £1,000 interest tax-free. For higher rate taxpayers earning up to £125,139, the allowance drops to £500, while anyone earning over £125,140 gets no allowance at all. That means identical savings can be taxed very differently depending on the saver's income. Higher rate taxpayers also face a steeper bill, paying 40% tax on any interest above their allowance compared with 20% for basic rate earners. Just £100 above the limit would cost them £40. A saver investing £3,500 at 5% interest over 3 years would receive more than £500 when the account matures, immediately exceeding the allowance for those earning above £50,270 annually. The financial impact intensifies for higher rate taxpayers, who forfeit 40% of any amount exceeding their allowance rather than the standard 20%. A higher earner surpassing their £500 limit by merely £100 faces a £40 tax charge. Standard savings accounts present similar risks for those with larger deposits. An £11,000 balance generating 5% annual returns produces £550 in interest, creating tax obligations for anyone earning above £50,270. Basic rate taxpayers aren't immune either. £21,000 saved at 5% yields £1,050 annually, surpassing their £1,000 threshold. These calculations reveal how quickly tax liabilities accumulate across different scenarios. Someone with £7,000 in a 2-year fixed bond at 5% would receive £700 upon maturity, breaching the higher rate threshold. Even conservative savers face exposure. A £15,000 deposit earning 4% annually generates £600, surpassing the £500 limit for those earning above £50,270. The concentration of interest payments in fixed accounts amplifies the problem, as 3 years of accumulated returns count against a single year's allowance, dramatically increasing the likelihood of unexpected HMRC correspondence. HMRC adds, if you go over your allowance, you pay tax on any interest over your allowance at your usual rate of income tax. If you're employed or get a pension, HMRC will change your tax code so you pay the tax automatically. To decide your tax code, HMRC will estimate how much interest you'll get in the current year by looking at how much you got the previous year. What are your thoughts on what we discussed in today's video? Let me know down in the comment section below. If you have not yet already, make sure you do drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for more British content. Thank you, take care, goodbye.